Glenbrook Nursing and Rehab is part of the American Senior Communities family. They're right on Parnell Avenue, just across from the Coliseum. James is here to tell us what makes them unique. Well, let's talk about your role first. What do you do at Glenbrook?
Well, I'm the Director of Marketing and Admissions. So basically what that means is I help the resident transition and navigate through to admissions to the facility.
Tell me what makes Glenbrook Nursing and Rehab unique, because you've got kind of a special thing going on. Tell me what makes you guys unique.
Absolutely. What makes us unique is the fact that we actually follow more of the younger demographic and the younger generation. With that being said, we also cater those particular activities, the music that we play and the different time frames in which we do the activities are all catered around that younger generation. We also are the one smoking facility for American Senior Communities, so we do help with that, as well as we focus on the rehab part as far as rehab to home. And we have our own physical therapists, our own occupational therapists. They are contracted through ASC. They're not contracted through anybody else. We also have our own in-house therapy gym, which allows us to be able to facilitate all of that and be able to provide the best care possible in order to move them from rehab back to home.
Now, somebody's watching and they're like, well, wait, let me understand this. So you have a younger population. Probably some of that is due to the fact that you do a lot of that rehab to home.
Correct.
People have an accident, people have an injury, they need to do rehab, and they might not be in their 80s yet. That's probably a lot of the reason that people come to Glenbrook, right?
Correct. We've had individuals as young as 21 come into our facility for rehab. And then we've had them, and we usually range anywhere between 21 to about 60 is about our age limit.
Well, and of course, we all know there are sometimes circumstances mean that at 30, you've had some sort of issue or some reason that then you need to live in an American Senior Communities home. That needs to become your home. And that's where someplace like Glenbrook is great, because like you mentioned, you're going to play that. I was going to try and say some music, but let's be honest, I am not 30, so I don't really know what the music is. I am at the older end of the population. I'm more towards the 60. So you're going to play that music. You're going to have those later, I assume, your activities go a little later in the evening, because
Correct.
That's when your population wants to do something fun.
Absolutely. We even have some that enjoy playing video games still. So they're ones that are going to end up playing later into the night, sleep a little bit later into the day, into the morning, before they get their day started. Whereas some of the older generations, they're bright and early. You know, they're all about being able to enjoy as much of the daylight as possible. Whereas our particular facility has that younger generation where they're more of the gamers. They're going to listen to like what is being played right now on the radio. That's what's more or less going to be played, you know, obviously words being...
They're just hipper, okay? They're just hipper than me. James is probably as hip as they are. And then you did mention the smoking. That's a big deal. If somebody is a smoker and they need to come for rehab, that's not the time for them to quit smoking.
Correct. A lot of times what it comes down to is we have that facility because it's one of their coping mechanisms.
Sure.
It's one of those things that kind of takes a little bit of the stress away so they can focus on their rehab.
So let's talk about what are some of the, like somebody's interested right now in coming to Glenbrook Nursing and Rehab. They know they're going to need rehab. Whatever the case may be, what do they do? What do they need to do?
They can actually contact our office with my phone numbers, 574-349-8573. That would allow us to at least get the questions started, whether we start with aging and in-home, whether we need to have the clinical diagnosis in order for them to fit those criteria for them to come into rehab and our skilled nursing facility.
And like we said, you're just right there by the Coliseum.
Absolutely.
Right there on Parnell. Everybody knows exactly where that is. Well, check them out today. Part of that American Senior Communities family, Glenbrook Nursing and Rehab. We'll be right back.